Sergeant America coming at you. Boom! It is going to be a small echo in here. Of course, I'm in my comic cave. It's a very small room. Some of you know more about it than others. But something I had thought about talking about today was the medium that we enjoy, comic books. As I recently talked with I work at a college, and a young guy that I work with, I was trying to get him interested in the idea of comics. And I realized that, it's an unusual thought to wait monthly for part of a story, to pick it up in a paper issue as opposed to digital, or just getting a trade. So I see more and more that comic books is about a collecting community. We all collect a little differently. Of course, I don't take my comic books as serious as other people. I put several in the same bag. I don't usually get boards. It's just about keeping them in a decent shape until the next time I were to read them again. And I find that I really don't reread them very often, so that might be the next thing I do. Something else that really kind of occurred to me too was, as I was reading through Mr. Miracle recently, there was 9 panels of all the same picture of 2 people pissing in a pit. They had a wonderful story. So Tom King does, I think, some pretty good writing. Mitch Gerard's excellent art. But when you see the same picture for 9 ones and they're discussing a story, especially in comic books, shouldn't the story being told be in the artwork? Shouldn't you say it with the pictures? So I understand there's probably more of a idea being construed to people that, it's a thought process. It's about 2 people bonding, especially as you read what led up to it and then afterwards what happens with the story. It still, though, to some degree feels like it's maybe a cop-out. Maybe it is something where we've seen, I believe it was in... now I have to think. It's an Image comic, Invincible. The young hero of the story is talking with a comic book drawer, artist that he really likes, and discusses with him, like, well, I can't believe you kick all these out all the time. And the guy even comments saying, sometimes I reuse the same picture, and they go like 3 or 4... little frames of the same picture, and he goes, isn't that kind of a cop-out? And the guy's like, oh, and it still just stays the same. So it's one of those things where I wonder, the monthly, heaven forbid, twice a month books that seem to be coming out, should we be looking at collecting more quarterly books? Should we be asking the industry to change? Along with those lines, sometimes I'm seeing, like with some Marvel, especially in group books, word bubbles. Word bubbles seem to go sometimes to the wrong people. Sometimes there's maybe even a spelling error in there. That comes down to the editors. And sometimes, if I don't notice or care what an editor says, or if I don't realize who that is, if I don't know or care enough about every person that's part of that book, does that mean that the book is getting lazy? Does it mean that that I'm just expecting less quality out of it? Should we be expecting more? Should we care about the colorist, the letterer, the editors as much as the writer and the artist? When we don't, especially with as many books as I have a wonderful store in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Rainbow Comics and Collectibles, so you can see behind me. And I see sometimes weekly, 60 comics on a wall. I know there's a lot of different industries or different publishers out there. There's definitely a lot of books out there. Should there be less? Should we really be concentrating and enjoying, looking forward to more quality out of each book? If every book came out, but then again, if I mention waiting a whole month between books, and I know that's what the young guy I was talking with even mentioned, is like, I don't know if I want one chapter of a book every month. But what if all of it was written and then put out weekly? Or put out, bound together so that we got more graphic novels, more stories that were totally complete all at one time. I know sometimes I complain about picking up a $5, $6, $7 comic because, I don't know what it's going to be like. So would I get that $20, $30, $40 trade if it was all bound already? These are the things I've been thinking about recently as I'm reading my comics, trying to get other people interested in comics. Definitely would like to hear your thoughts. It's 5 in the morning right now. My schedule, of course, is all thrown off because of jumping from days to nights. I'm still on nights right now, but during the days off, I try to hang out with my family. So I don't sleep very well, so this was jumping around in my head today. Hope to hear from you. A lot of random thoughts. Catchphrase.